I think this might get us into it. Does. All right. We are going to get into the Westside Roundup, where I start to lose my voice as I blast through these. Okay. The Westside Roundup. What is that exactly? So this is where we kind of merge the market reports for almost the entire West Side Strip. It is Avon, let me start with, it is Plainfield, Avon, and Brownsburg. All of these markets really speak to each other, and I haven't looked at these yet, but every other market report we've done, all of these numbers relate to each other so much where we just got to blaze through these numbers. And it's really your market in a minute for each one of these. So without further ado, I'm going to rattle off some numbers. So try to keep up. Mike, flag me down if there's anything you want to chime in on. Otherwise, my mouth will not stop moving. Here we go.
Let her rip. Let her rip.
Number of active homes. This is the May 2025 Avon, Plainfield, and Brownsburg market report. Number of active homes in Avon, 48. Average rental price is at $21.50, which is up almost 3% and up just over 2.5% year over year. Average days on market is at 21. Now, in all these markets, I am used to seeing pretty low days on the market. Occasionally, we'll get a little bit of a blip, but this is historically pretty low average days on market. And we are bringing on more, by the way, in Avon, Brownsburg. I don't know, maybe it's that airport development we talked about in the economic market report, but enough on that. If you want to catch that, you've got to get back over to the economic market report for that information. Your average price per square foot is at $1.11. Apartments and condos, there's the information for you to consume. We have 19 apartments, $1,658 is your average price. In condos, we only have 3 of those with an average days on market at 18. So if you're in the condo market, this is definitely one of the markets that you should be looking at if you want a condo. Now, all of the graphs there for your consumption, and those will be laid out in their own individual graphs with all our graphic rather with all of those graphs nice and neatly for your consumption on our social media channels found there at the bottom of all of these graphics. Moving on. Avon sales, everything in the investor point of view. So average days on market. Now here we're seeing an average days on market ticking up. This one's up 33%. So homes are staying on the market a little bit longer here in Avon, comparable to our previous market reports. Average sales price is up just over 2.5 year over year. Our average sales price, I have to slow down when I see these. You know I do. Your average sales price year over year is down almost 4%. Homes sold, 56 homes sold. All right, average sales price over time. Now, this has been, we've been crisscrossing our last year's average sales price over time. Looks like multiple times here, but that's, we're seeing, you can consume that at your own time. Okay, here we go. Number of homes sold. This is the investor point of view. At what price point you can get into this market, and at what, how many in that specific price point have sold in the previous month. All right. Now that I've composed myself, let's get into Brownsburg. Number of active homes, 22, which is down 21% month over month. Average rental price over time is down just over 10.5%. Wow, some of these numbers are a little bit surprising. I've got to be honest. So I'm kind of slowing myself down as I'm going through these. Average days on market, we're at 24 average days on market, which again, it relates to our Avon market, which was at 21. Here in Brownsburg, we're at 24. So, I mean, it's an awesome market to be a part of. Average price per square foot at $1.07. Apartments, 22. Condos, we only have 1 condo in the Brownsburg area. And then, of course, all of your graphs there to take a peek at your desire. The average, the May 2025 sales market report update. Average days on market is at 36. So you're down 32% for your average days on market. So that number is a little bit different than where we were in Avon, right? Where it was up 33%. So that is a little bit different. Your average price per square foot is at 183. Your average sales price, and here we go, we're down month over month, but we are up year over year 1%. Where in Avon, I believe we were down 1% year over year. Homes sold, 72 homes sold, which that's continuing to increase. Man, year over year, over 71% increase in number of homes sold for the month of May. All of those nice, neat little graphs there at the bottom that are going to indicate anything that's sold under the $500,000 investor point of view that we love to report on. Plainfield, this is going to wrap up our Westside Roundup. So we have number of active homes. We have 26 number of active homes. So that number is going down. Where this one, this specific market report is going to bleed a little bit differently is your average days on market at 44, where the other two were in the 20s. So this one is a little bit different. These are varying more than they typically do, I will say. Your average rental price at $23.34, which is, golly, would you look at that? Plainfield is, that is an increase. Geez. Up almost 12.5% month over month, and up, golly, approaching 17% year over year. Average price per square foot is at $1.05. And again, you get into your apartments and condo information there just below that, and your two next lines there. And then your graphs for your consumption there at the bottom. Single family homes, which looks like we're going to take a dip in June, but that's very early to tell. That could change considerably, but we're ticking up from in May, obviously indicated by the average rental price, up almost 17% year over year. Okay, to wrap up our Westside Roundup, we're going to get into the sales data for May 2025 in Plainfield. Your average days on market is down. Here we go. So Avon's the only one that was a standout on the average days on market. Average price per square foot is at $168. Your average sales price at $345,000 and wait, let me re-say that. $345,457. Homes sold, 37 homes sold. So this one's ticking down. Man, not as many homes selling in Plainfield. So you're down 17% month over month, and down a flat 26% year over year. Average sales price over time sure looks like it's I don't want to say correcting, but but we are trending down.
Just ever so slightly. Yes.
Ever so slightly. We won't know for sure until we get into the next couple months, but I trust that my prediction will hold. All right. That's going to wrap up our Westside Roundup. A little floppy there, but we did get the numbers out. Anything you want to add on any of those numbers?
No, just a little bit of fluctuation, like you mentioned during there, that we normally it's like almost the exact same. Plainfield, the days on the market being at 44. I mean, it's actually still really good or respectable anyway, but not as crazy as the in the 20s of Avon and Brownsburg. But no, I mean a lot of information, but it's good.
Normally, I blaze through those numbers, and the variations were kind of throwing me for a loop there for a second. So, and I didn't want to stop and discuss them too much and extend this podcast any longer than it needs to be. Just to beat a dead horse on things that we've already discussed in other markets. So I didn't do that, but it was a little bit interesting. So in case you need to rewind and catch some of that previous information, just click back a couple seconds and you can reconsume some of those numbers.